We're going to be looking at Hyperion SMGs and their parts in this video. Now, I'm a big fan of Hyperion SMGs, but the problem with them is that they cause you to lose money. And this isn't necessarily because they're bad and you die a lot using them, it's because they literally shoot money. Okay, maybe this is a bit misleading because only one of them does, but what kind of YouTuber would I be if I wasn't misleading? Anyways, we're going to take a look at the parts on all non-unique and non-legendary Hyperion SMGs. And you know what? Most of them can spawn on the legendaries that we love so much. First, a little bit more about them. Hyperion SMGs will become more accurate the longer you fire them. In addition to this, they can also spawn with a shield that will deploy when you aim down your sights. These shields can spawn with special effects, but you need to be careful because your shield can break, and when this happens, it essentially takes the effect away until the shield recharges. There are a number of shields that you can get that we'll take a look at. First, we have the Hyperion shield. This is just your standard shield that absorbs damage. It has a bluish tinge when it's active. This is the only shield that you can't see on the gun when you're looking at it in the menu. So if you see no shield in the front, that's how you know you have it. As an added bonus, this part will also increase your weapon shield capacity by 15% and will decrease your reload time by 5%. Then we come to the amped shield. This one will have a purple tinge to it when it's active. When your shield takes damage, your shots will be amped and deal bonus damage. As a side bonus, this part will also provide a weapon sway reduction of 30% and a 5% damage boost. And I just want to mention that weapon sway being listed twice is probably a bug and it actually only applies once. Next, we have the Genesis shield, which has a green tinge to it when it's active. When you take front-facing damage with this shield out, it will convert the damage into ammo that will be placed directly into your magazine. This shield will also provide an accuracy bonus of 10% and a fire rate bonus of 5%. The last shield is the redirect shield, which has an orangish color when it is up. When you take front-facing damage, some of that damage will be redirected back at your enemies, hence the name. This is not limited to bullet damage, it can include melee as well. In addition, the shield will give you a recoil height reduction of 30% and an accuracy bonus of 10%. Now that the shields are done, we'll take a look at the body of the gun. The body on every Hyperion SMG will be the same, no matter the rarity. You can see the body here, and it's a little bit obstructed by the UI, so here's a better view. The body has 3 accessories it can spawn with. The first accessory will increase your critical damage by 10%. The second one here will give you a 10% damage increase. And the third one will increase your weapon shield capacity by 25%. So that's it for the body, and now we're going to take a look at the 4 barrels, one of which is an alien barrel. The barrels are going to give the guns their base stats and names, and they each have a number of accessories that they'll spawn with that are unique to that barrel. The first barrel we will take a look at is the Boardroom Barrel. Of the 3 non-alien barrels, this one will have the fastest fire rate but the lowest damage. This one can spawn with 3 accessories. The first accessory will provide a 15% accuracy bonus. The second accessory will give you a 10% fire rate increase. And the third is a melee attachment that will give you 60% additional melee damage and a 10% fire rate increase. This is the only melee attachment you can get on a Hyperion SMG. Next, we'll take a look at the Powerplay Barrel. This one will have the second highest damage and the lowest fire rate of the 3 non-alien barrels. Like the Boardroom before it, it can spawn with 3 accessories. The first will provide an accuracy bonus of 15%. The second will provide a damage increase of 10%. And the third one here will also provide a 10% damage increase. Now without these 2 damage accessories, this one would have the second highest base damage, like I mentioned a moment ago. But they actually bump it up over the damage of the next barrel we're going to look at, which is the Powerplay Barrel. And yes, there are 2 Powerplay Barrels. I don't know why. This second Powerplay Barrel has the highest base damage, without accessories anyway, of the 3 non-alien barrels and the second highest fire rate. This one, like the other 2 barrels, can also spawn with 3 accessories. The first accessory will give you a 15% accuracy bonus. The second accessory here will do the same thing. And the last accessory will increase your critical damage by 10%. Lastly, we have the Hivemind Barrel, which is the alien barrel. This one has a very fast fire rate and will always spawn in an element, as do all weapons with alien barrels. It will consume 2 ammo per shot, so it's not exactly the most ammo efficient, but the bullets ricochet, so that's cool. This barrel alone will increase your magazine size by 25%. Purple variants will spawn with an accessory that will increase your weapon shield capacity by 25% and increase your projectile speed by 30%. Now that is it for the barrels, and we'll take a look at the grips next. Hyperion SMGs have 3 different grips that they can spawn with. The first will provide 10% additional critical hit damage and 5% more damage. The second will give you a 30% recoil height reduction and a 10% accuracy bonus. And the final grip will decrease your reload time by 5% and increase your fire rate by 5%. Next, we'll take a look at the 3 stocks. The first one is the magical floating stock. This one will give you a 20% accuracy bonus. The second stock will decrease your recoil height by 15% and increase your damage by 5%. Also, it doesn't float. The third one, which also doesn't float, will decrease your recoil width by 30% and give you a 5% increase in fire rate. There is also a possibility that you get no stock on your gun. You can think of it as having floated away. Next, we will take a look at the 3 magazines. Along with your magazine size, they will impact your damage and your reload speed. The first one is the 25-round magazine, and it will give you a 10% damage bonus for being the smallest mag. In addition to this, you will have a base reload speed of 2.7 seconds before any other parts buff it. Now you can't see this part when you look at the gun, as the magazine is actually covered by the rail, but you'll see it on the gun card. The second magazine is the 35-round one. This one won't affect your damage, but will set your base reload time to 3 seconds. And the third and final magazine is the 45-round magazine. This one will decrease your weapon damage by 10% and will set your base reload time to 3.3 seconds. Now we'll take a look at the 3 rails. The scopes you get on your gun will sit on the rail, but you will still have a rail even if there is no scope. The first rail will give you a 10% magazine size increase, which comes at a cost of a 10% accuracy penalty and a 5% damage penalty. And this is just a better view of it without the UI in the way. The second here will decrease your reload time by 5%. And the third here will increase your weapon shield capacity by 15%. Now for the scopes that sit on top of the rails, there are 3 of these that you can get. The first here will give you 1.5 times zoom. The second will give you 2.2 times zoom. And the third will give you 2.6 times zoom. There's also the possibility that you get no scope on a gun. Finally, we come to the elements. To I'm sure no one's surprise, Hyperion SMGs can spawn in all 5 elements, these being fire, shock, corrosive, cryo, and radiation. However, you probably will see no element most of the time. So here's a list of all of these parts that you can get. I will link a spreadsheet in the description below that will have all of this information and more for other gun types as I work through them. That'll do it for Hyperion SMGs. See you guys.